Now, the Korean War left many separated families in South and North Korea. More than 60 years later, the scars have yet to fade, but there have been continuous efforts to reunite the two Koreas since then, and still, there is a long way to go. Minyoung reports.
The Korean War, a horrific memory for those who lived through it, and for the young generation, an unwanted history that has left behind a divided Korean peninsula and a threatening neighbor.
One night, 24 hours after Nagasaki was hit, in August of 1945, three people, two very powerful people, John Macloy and Dean Rusk, and a third military man, divided Korea at the 38th parallel. And they didn't ask anybody else, let alone Koreans. I mean, can you imagine Koreans coming here and dividing the U.S. at the Mason-Dixon line without consulting any Americans?
Thousands of families have been torn apart by the Korean War, which ended in 1953. And in 2000, after almost 50 years of separation, the first round of South-North reunions for separated families were held, amid an outpouring of emotions and tears.
Those people are all getting older and older. Many of them have died already. That's the constituency that always wanted unification. Not at any cost, but they would have loved to see their relatives.
Since the South-North Joint Declaration in June 2000, many efforts have been made to lay a groundwork for reunification, despite the inevitable complexities that the process may entail. Some hope that reunification could be the best solution to the North Korean nuclear problem, implying a peaceful takeover of the North by the South.
You can't average out the two Korea systems. You can't average the human rights policies of North Korea and South Korea. So whether you want to call it absorption of the North by the South or simply the expansion of freedom and democracy throughout the Korean peninsula, it really has to be that. And in fact, the South Korean Constitution calls for unification based on those principles.
Regardless of what approach the two Koreas should take, the road to a peaceful reunification would indeed be a bumpy one, which would take time and continuous effort.
In the meantime, to reach that goal, there has to be a process of engagement and integration, and that could take many years. But at the end of the day, unification will only happen if the Koreans push for unification. And so it has to happen, I think, from the inside out, from Korea reaching out, rather than from the outside in.
Minyoung, Arirang News.